Hey everyone, welcome to my studio. This week I have a little commission to make a pendant from a heart base that is similar to one that's sold to someone else. As you can see here, there are some petal shapes from white. So I've got a variety of sizes and shapes to choose from, and an ombre of blue, water, and then the sky, as well as the sand. I do have some sand in this one. I am going to make this commission first, and then because I've sort of have an array of pendant making supplies out, I'm going to make a bunch more because I'm way overdue to make some new ones and restock my shop. This one's going to be an ocean one, but I probably am going to make some florals. For this pendant, I'm going to be using gray epoxy sculpt, but before I get that mixed up, I'm going to pre-cut some pieces. This is the depth of the bezel, not very deep. I can't go deeper than that on my pieces. I have to make them smaller. So I'm just going to pre-cut some so I have some ready to go. I've got a nice assortment of blues, some tan for the sand, a couple dark browns, and I think I'm ready to start now. Equal parts A and B, and then I just mix thoroughly for 2 minutes. These are fiddly little bits. They're very slippery with the tweezers, but it is important to put the pieces vertically, and that can take a minute to put them into position. And once they are in position, then I can take the tip of the tweezers or my finger to push them down into place. For a pendant like this that has a rather large bezel, and I am planning on using a lot of smaller pieces, even though I've got them pre-cut, I just don't want to mix enough epoxy sculpt to fill the entire thing because it might harden up before I'm finished. So this way it gives me a little bit more time to finish the part that I'm working on, and then I can mix up some more when I get to the sky. You may be wondering where I get my bezels, and I typically buy them from Amate Studios. I get the sterling silver plated bezels because I make so many, but this one I happened to purchase at the SAMA conference in the vendor marketplace. For this piece, I'm starting with some flat wire. I've just received another commission to make a mosaic similar to this pendant, which has a bit of mirror, some crystal chatons, and some red glass and beads. However, this workspace is really getting to be a mess, so I need to clean up first. I need some space right here to work, and I like to work on this little board or some type of a raised platform. So what I'm going to do is, and I've already cut a couple pieces, saving that, and I'm just going to move all that down out of the way. There we go. That's good. Move those rods, wrappers, caps. There we go. There. Fortunately, I have a base, an elongated hard base that I can use that is very similar to this one. And I know you use black epoxy sculpt, so I will go ahead with the black epoxy. With this, this ring that's right here that holds the cord sticking out, it wobbles a bit, which is nice that I have the platform because now I can move it to the edge or move it upside down to the edge and it's not wobbling back and forth. That's the best solution I found for that. And a long time ago, I made these trays that had an assortment of colors to work from. So I pulled out this red one that has some chatons and some of the beads that I can use. And then I just need to get the mirrored glass, which I dug up. This is the iridized, and then I have a red mirror, and then I have a dark red mirror. So I'm going to use only a little bit of the dark red, more of the bright red, plenty of this, probably both sides, so I can get both some true red and some reflective iridized red. Before I mix up the epoxy for this, I counted these red cut squares that are from mirror and stained glass, and there's about 20 of them. So I'm going to go ahead and cut 20 pieces to use. Whenever I make something like this one, I always start with placing the biggest pieces, and I'm trying for an even distribution so that way I can space them out evenly and then fill in with medium and then the smallest pieces. And sometimes I use teeny Filati to fill in at the end, but I'm not sure if I'll do that on this one or not. I never fill the tray all the way with epoxy sculpt because when I put the pieces in, it's going to displace some, and I want there to be room for the pieces without having to scrape it out. Now, sometimes I do scrape it out, but I'd rather work with a little bit extra in case I need to add, this is way too much, but a little bit extra in case I need to add some or lift up a certain piece. I can roll a tiny ball and stick it in there and have that ability. All right, let me get going. Putting it together. Thanks for watching. See you next time.